Good evening, respected faculty. Today I'm going to present knee defect. A 35-year-old male patient came with the complaints of wound over the right knee since 15 days. Patient was apparently involved 15 days back. Later, he sustained an injury to right knee due to trauma. Initially, debridement was done by the ortho department and later referred to us for further management. There is no history of any other injuries and no history of any other comorbidities. On general examination, patient is conscious, current, cooperative. There is no pallor, icterus, cyanosis, clubbing, edema, lymphadenopathy. Vitals are normal. Systemic examination is normal. On local examination, attitude of the limb, the patient is lying on a bed with right knee in extended position and with ankle in neutral position. A raw area of size 4 into 8 centimeters with exposed patella tendon present on right anterolateral aspect of the knee. The wound edges are sloping, covered with pale granulation tissue with exposed patella tendon. There are two other healed scars present below the knee over the anterior aspect of proximal third of the leg. On palpation, there is no local rise of temperature, mild tenderness is present, inspectory findings are confirmed. A range of motion of the right knee is restricted and
Sajani?
Hello. I think we lost her.
Hello. Yeah, that one. Sajani?
sorry, there is a power cut. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah.
Okay, you go
on. There is no local rise of temperature. Mild tenderness is present. My inspectory findings are confirmed. My range of movement is right knee is restricted and painful. Ankle, there is a normal range of motion. And my sensations are intact, confined to tibial peroneal, posterior tibial nerves, and distal pulses, anterior tibial, posterior tibial, and dorsalis pedis pulse are normal when compared with the opposite limb. The opposite limb is normal. My diagnosis is post-traumatic defect with exposed patella tendon of right knee with no neurovascular deficits. So management. I would
How much is the restriction of the knee flexion?
Sir?
You have to describe actual how much angle restriction is there. I mean, you said restricted movements of the knee joint. The knee is in extension. So what is the deficit of flexion in knee?
Sir, I was provided
because only. Because that is important because that will decide, and you did not mention about the viability of patella, the viability of the patellar tendon that is exposed, whether it's a long-standing exposure, then whether the outer layer of the patellar tendon is already kind of sloughed off. It's looking, because in the defect what I can see is an absolute white shiny thing. So whether it is viable or not, that you would like to assess, right? Hello?
Again, she lost.
And but can you hear me, madam?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Patella tendon.
Yes. Yeah, go.
The slides are not visible. It's only voice is audible.
Presentation is not seen.
There is a power cut, madam.
Power cut. Yeah.
Shravan is having your PPT?
Yes,
is Shravan having?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Shravan, can you share it?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Yeah.
So that white thing that is seen there is patella or the patellar tendon that you think?
Tendon.
So does it appear viable?
No, sir. The superficial region is already covered with slough.
So you have to assess the knee range of movement, whether patient is able to extend the knee properly, and what is the restriction of the flexion of the knee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I would like to do an X-ray of the right knee to see whether there is any bony injury. And I would like to do quantitative bacteriology for culture sensitivity and routine investigations for the fitness for the surgery.
Okay. So what is your plan now?
My plan
Everything
of
is normal, sensations, vascularity is normal. The tendon doesn't look very good. So what is your plan?
I would like to do the initial debridement. We exercise the dead devitalized tendon, and I would like to give a flap cover. My first choice of flap cover would be a medial gastrocnemius flap cover with split skin grafting.
Okay. That medial gastrocnemius flap cover would reach to the lateral defect of the lateral edge of the defect?
No, sir, it will cover only the exposed patella region, and the lateral defect is already granulation is present. I would remove that slimy layer and put a graft over it.
If the patellar tendon is non-viable, when you debride, if there is nothing, it's already sloughed off, then what will you do?
I would like to do a fasciocutaneous flap with reverse anterolateral thigh flap with including the fascia, so that I can reconstruct the patellar tendon with the fascia.
Okay. So what is the anatomy of how does the reverse anterolateral thigh flap get its blood supply from?
It reaches perforators are marked. Usually there is an anastomosis between the descending branch of lateral circumflex femoral artery and lateral supragenicular arteries. So when I would like to mark a perforator from the knee region.
So what is the location of?
Applied by lateral
Do you have the line diagram? Okay. Have you made the line diagram?
I made for gastrocnemius flap.
Why? The other options are also important, no? Okay, tell.
No, gastrocnemius is accepted as your first option, provided that patellar tendon is in good condition. Looking at the defect, the patellar tendon looks like it's already half of it is already sloughed off. So you might have to reinforce the patellar tendon to preserve the function of patella. Otherwise, you are not going to have good knee function.
Yeah.
But so you have not marked the inferiorly based LT flap?
Line diagram I have not put.
Okay. So how many perforators you have at you said the anastomosis between the descending branch of the lateral circumflex femoral and the superior lateral superior genicular artery.
Yes.
So are there any constant perforators or what is the pivot point for an inferiorly based?
It's 5 centimeters above the lateral condyle of the femur. It's a 5.3 centimeters, 5 to 7 centimeters.
5 centimeters, 5.37. What is the exact figure? How many perforators you have?
2 perforators.
2 perforators.
Sir?
Yeah, so what is the pivot point?
Pivot point would be about 7 centimeters from the lateral condyle of the femur, and I will rotate.
See, we have done a cadaveric dissection in this area, and there are 3 constant perforators, one at 3 centimeters from the axis of the knee joint, one at 7 centimeters, and the third one is at 10 centimeters. So if you base your pivot point at 10 centimeters above the knee joint, you are probably likely to include all 3 perforators, because What is the disadvantage of doing a inferiorly based ALT flap?
Distal margin may get necrosed.
Basically venous congestion, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So any other thing that you can do to prevent venous congestion in a distally based ALT?
Either you can do a supercharging with a local
Okay.
vein, and
Second thing.
second thing, we can go for a leech therapy, or
Okay.
we can one more thing is exteriorization of the vein.
Any tissue that you can include in the flap which will reduce the venous congestion?
It also fills the cavity.
I can take a muscle vastus
What must?
vastus lateralis muscle.
Yes. So there is you can split the vastus lateralis longitudinally, include a strip of vastus lateralis in the distally based ALT, so that the congestion chances of venous congestion are reduced. Plus, as madam said, it will give you additional volume to be filled into the cavity.
Oh. Okay.
And when you do that, what is the normal reach of a distally based ALT flap? Till how many centimeters below the knee joint, or can it reach the knee joint, or can it go below the knee joint?
Almost 20 centimeters reach is given. Below that knee joint is about 12 centimeters.
12 centimeters below the knee joint.
So I'm not sure.
So what is the length of the thigh? I mean, length of the femur. Then let us come to that. You are saying
Sir?
if your pivot point is 7 centimeters, if your pivot point is 7 centimeters from the knee joint, you are saying the flap can reach 12 centimeters below the knee joint. 7 plus 7, that will be 14, and then another 12. So you're talking about 30 centimeters of
no, sir.
length.
No, sir.
Is it possible you are going above the joint fold?
No, sir. 6 to 8 centimeters.
It can just cover the
Tuberosity. You cannot go beyond the tubular tuberosity. Beyond tubular tuberosity, chances of the distal end necrosis are very high.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Any other flap which you can?
So proceed.
Which you can
Yeah.
cover?
Yeah.
Sir,
Any other flap which you can use to cover that?
to cover the defect, sir, we can use a saphenous artery flap from the medial aspect.
Saphenous artery flap. What is the vascularity of this flap?
It is a branch of descending genicular artery. Descending genicular artery is a branch of femoral artery.
Okay.
Superficial femoral artery.
Okay. So what will you do? How much of length you can go? Saphenous artery. Where is the artery given?
It is below the adductor. Descending genicular artery is given above the adductor canal. It is descends downwards in between the sartorius and adductor magnus. And it provides perforating vessels anterior to the sartorius, anterior and posterior to the sartorius muscles.
Will you be able to cover up to the lateral end of the defect?
No, sir. Mainly, it covers only the medial aspect of the tendon, sir.
No. Here the defect is after debridement. The defect is going to be very big, or what kind of how much of defect size is going to be?
It would be like 5 into 8 centimeters.
In that case, you can cover it.
Mm.
Okay, but the only
Yes,
thing is, if there is a patellar tendon loss, you may have to go in for staged reconstruction.
Yes.
With saphenous artery flap, you cannot do the patellar tendon this thing work also.
Oh,
So you may
yes.
have to do later. Okay.
Have you heard about a medial sural artery? I mean, medial thigh flap?
Anteromedial thigh flap.
Yeah, intermedial thigh flap.
Yes, sir, we can do.
Is based on what?
Yeah, it's based on a perforatus from the medial circumflex femoral muscles.
So that could be another option.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
Can you do lateral gastrocnemius here?
It can't reach up to the because the length of the lateral gastrocnemius is short when compared to medial. It can't reach up to the medial aspect of the patella.
So suppose in this patient there is some injury in the thigh and you cannot do an inferior based LT or a vastus lateral flap, and you still do a gastro flap only in this medial gastro, whatever you have planned. So any other modifications in
Any other modifications, sir? ఇంకా I can do a gastromyocutaneous flap.
Sajni,
or to
Sorry?
increase the
what
reach
sir
of
is
the flap?
asking, no? Yeah, that is what. How can you increase the reach of the flap?
I would like to disinsert the origin of the gastrocnemius, sir.
Okay, one.
One.
And I would like to do a scoring of the fascia longitudinally and transversely.
That's a bit dicey.
That's very controversial. Okay. Anything else? Have you heard about extended gastromyocutaneous flap?
I have told sir some breakage of voice, I think. Gastromyocutaneous
Told
flap.
myocutaneous.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but how do you design the flap to actually get a better extent, better reach?
We'll include the. Actually, we can get a reach up to 5 centimeters above the lateral malleolus ankle region.
How do we
can
do that? Basically, you're including the perforator, the cutaneous perforator. Yeah.
Yes,
so if you
sir.
include that, then you can get a much larger flap. So with that, you would be able to get that thing.
So it is like a muscle flap at the base with a fasciocutaneous extension. So you can take a fasciocutaneous flap and the muscle together.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Sajni, the
Yes,
other
sir.
options are to actually go for propeller flaps. You've got actually 4 genicular vessels around the knee joint, all around 5 centimeters above and below and medial and lateral to the knee joint. So you can take actually, like you said, you can actually take beautiful propeller flaps also. In this particular case, it would be a very elegant flap. And you have to actually search for the perforators. You actually Doppler it initially, mark them, and then look for them, and then you can actually base the propeller flaps for that, because the width is not too much, and I think it should come out pretty well also.
Shall we go to the next?
Yeah. Done.
Yeah. Dr. Lakshmi?
Only
Next is
two short questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dr. Manjula, would you like to any contribute in this case?
Sir, madam, it's nicely covered. Very nice. There's no questions for me.
Yeah.
But,
It's a availability of the Doppler makes nice flaps all around these small defects. So, marking of perforator is very essential, and plan the flaps. Okay,
There are
Sajani? Yeah.
Madam.
there are museum of flaps in that area, Dr. Sajani. So you can
Yeah.
do. Only thing is, you should think for it, and then you will be able to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
and Rajani, even if it's a short case, you should have at least 2 or 3 options and the defect patterns ready when you actually present in the exams.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what the thing they have to follow. Yes, sir.
as Parag sir said, you have to see here the reconstruction is straightforward. One is with the tendon defect and without tendon defect. That way only you should discuss. Or if you want to do a staged patellar tendon reconstruction also, you can go ahead. But when you have an option of doing it together, it's better to go and do it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There must be an alternate plan for every plan. Yes, that's what
Yes.
they have to follow.
You
That's
should
what.
have a pattern of at least two
flaps.
flaps along with the defect.
And just to mention the name, sir, I didn't draw the images.
Yeah, it's okay. But in the exam, you should have at least minimum of two patterns. Okay.
Okay.
And you can staple the defect to that pattern also and then show it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So Sandeep, I think we are through. Sandeep?
Just one more question.
Yeah,
Just one more question for
Yeah.
Sandeep. Sandeep, how will you reconstruct the patellar tendon? Suppose the tendon is left.
If it is less than 2 centimeters, I will do primary closure with Ethibond sutures. Otherwise, I would like to put a tendon graft. One, I can take a fasciolateral graft and I can do the tendon repair.
Yeah, or you can even use the plantar fascia, plantaris muscle, the tendon. But sometimes the tendon is not good. If the tendon is of adequate size, then you can use it. Then you might have to, you can even drill a hole through the patellar tendon and take this as a box stitch kind of a thing. And then you can fix it. Yeah, very, very nicely presented, Sajani.
Yeah.
A nice presentation. I think